The courtroom was silent, but the tension was heavy. Every eye in the room was locked onto Ethan Carter, a 16-year-old standing in the witness box. His face was calm, but his eyes burned with determination. Then, in a voice that cut through the air like a blade, he spoke. "I know what she did." Gasps rippled through the crowd. His 21-year-old stepsister, Madison, sat frozen in the defendant's chair. Her once confident smile was gone, replaced by pale skin and shaking hands. She had always been adored, always untouchable. But not anymore. The judge, an older man with sharp eyes, leaned forward. "Mr. Carter, clarify your statement. What exactly are you accusing her of?" Ethan didn't flinch. His gaze locked onto Madison's. "I know what she did to this family, and I won't let her get away with it." The room held its breath. What had Madison done? Ethan Carter was never the center of attention. In his wealthy family, he often felt like a shadow. 3 years ago, his mother, Lisa, married David Carter, a powerful businessman. With that marriage came a new reality, one that revolved around his stepsister, Madison. Madison was everything. Ethan wasn't charming, confident, and adored by everyone. To the outside world, she was perfect. But Ethan saw the cracks no one else noticed. She didn't just live a privileged life, she controlled it. Behind her warm smiles and sweet words, she was always pulling the strings. Ethan didn't want to believe it at first. He tried to brush off the uneasy feeling in his gut. But then strange things started happening, whispers behind closed doors, missing money, and tense conversations between his parents. Something wasn't right. And as much as he wanted to ignore it, deep down, Ethan knew Madison was hiding something. The first crack in Madison's perfect image appeared late one night. Ethan was walking past the living room when he heard his mother and stepfather arguing. Their voices were low but urgent. "I can't believe this. How did I not see it?" His mother's voice trembled with worry. David sighed, frustration thick in his tone. "She's been taking money from the business. I saw something today that doesn't add up. We need to look into this." Ethan froze. Were they talking about Madison? The idea seemed impossible. She had always been the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. But as Ethan thought about it, a chill ran through him. Had Madison been stealing from their own family? His heart pounded. He needed to know the truth. And once he started digging, what he found was far worse than he could have ever imagined. At first, Ethan wasn't sure what to believe. But once the suspicion took hold, he couldn't ignore it. He started paying closer attention, watching, listening, searching for answers. Then, one evening, he found something that made his stomach drop. While looking through David's office, he spotted a stack of financial records. At first glance, they seemed normal. But then he noticed bank transfers, large sums of money disappearing into an unmarked personal account. His hands shook as he traced the name on the account. It was Madison. Ethan's breath caught. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was deliberate. Still, he needed proof. So he kept digging. The deeper he went, the more disturbing it became. Madison wasn't just stealing, she was forging documents, making fake investments, and covering her tracks at every turn. His perfect stepsister wasn't perfect at all. She was a liar, a thief, and maybe even worse. Finding the bank statements was shocking, but Ethan wasn't done. He needed to know just how deep Madison's lies went. One afternoon, while she was out, he checked her phone. A voicemail caught his attention. His heart pounded as he hit play. "Madison, the transfer went through, but I'm getting nervous. Your dad is asking questions. You need to fix this before it blows up." Ethan's blood ran cold. This wasn't just stealing, she was working with someone. Covering up something huge. Digging further, he found a series of emails in the family's shared cloud storage. What he read made his stomach turn. "Don't worry, I've got this under control. Once my parents are out of the picture, it'll all be mine." Ethan's hands shook. Madison wasn't just taking money. She was planning something that could destroy their entire family. Ethan had all the proof: bank statements, forged documents, secret emails, and the voicemail. It was more than enough. But doubt crept in. Would anyone believe him? Madison had always been the favorite, the one everyone trusted. She was charming, clever, and knew exactly how to manipulate people. Even with hard evidence, Ethan feared she would twist the story and make him look like the liar. As the trial got closer, the pressure became unbearable. Madison's lawyers attacked Ethan's credibility, painting him as an angry, jealous teenager. Even his own mother seemed unsure. Ethan started questioning everything. What if standing up for the truth cost him his family? What if it wasn't enough? He thought about walking away, letting it all go. But deep down, he knew he couldn't. If he didn't expose Madison now, she would destroy everything. He had no choice but to fight. The courtroom was packed. Every seat filled, every eye locked on Ethan as he took the witness stand. His hands trembled slightly, but his voice was firm. One by one, he laid out the evidence: bank statements, fake contracts, emails, and the voicemail. Each piece proved the truth. Madison had been stealing, forging, and lying for years. Gasps spread through the room as Ethan played the voicemail. Madison's confident expression finally cracked. She tried to brush it off, calling it a misunderstanding, but the truth was too clear now. The judge leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Miss Carter, do you have anything to say for yourself?" Madison opened her mouth, but couldn't find the words. She was caught. Ethan had done it. He had exposed the truth. But as he looked at his mother's tearful face, he knew this battle had cost him more than he ever imagined. Madison was convicted. She was found guilty of stealing from the family, forging documents, and betraying everyone who trusted her. The courtroom was silent as the judge sentenced her to prison. Ethan felt a strange mix of emotions: relief, anger, sadness. It was over, but the damage was done. Madison's actions had torn their family apart. His mother, devastated by the truth, was left to rebuild their lives. Ethan, though proud of doing the right thing, struggled with the aftermath. He had lost a sister, but in return he had gained something much more important: the courage to stand up for what was right, no matter the cost. Over the weeks that followed, his mother apologized for not seeing the signs sooner. Together, they began the long process of healing. They weren't the same family anymore, but they were stronger. And Ethan knew, for the first time, he was truly free. After the trial, things weren't easy for Ethan. Yes, he had exposed Madison's lies, but the consequences were huge. Their family would never be the same again. His mother, crushed by the betrayal, had to face the truth about her daughter's actions. Though relieved to see Madison face justice, Ethan couldn't ignore the emotional toll it had taken on him. He had lost someone he once cared about, and even though he had done the right thing, it didn't make the pain go away. Weeks later, Ethan sat down with his mom to talk. She apologized for not seeing the signs sooner, for trusting Madison too much. And while it couldn't undo everything, they promised to rebuild. It was a long road ahead, but Ethan had learned something important: standing up for the truth could hurt, but it was the only way to heal. Now, he was ready to move forward, stronger than before. Ethan had faced the truth. He had exposed Madison for who she really was, and now everything had changed. But standing up for the truth had come with a heavy cost. His family was broken, and even though he felt relief, there was a deep sadness he couldn't shake. His mother, heartbroken and shocked, took time to process everything. She had never imagined Madison was capable of such betrayal. It was hard for her to accept, but she knew Ethan had done what was right. As they worked through their pain, Ethan felt the weight of his decision. He had lost a sister, but he had gained something much more important: the strength to do what was right, no matter the cost. In the end, Ethan knew he'd have to let go of the past if he wanted to heal. It wasn't easy, but it was the only way forward. And now, he was ready to rebuild his life.